there.
Hello, my name is Steve Kuitan, and I'm a semi-retired professor at Sheridan College in Canada. And today we're going to explore the Bermuda Triangle. Is it fact or fiction? To begin, let us see how much you know about the Bermuda Triangle. Bermuda Triangle is a mysterious place that covers roughly 500,000 square miles in which ocean? That's right, very good. You guys are excellent. The Atlantic. On to our second one. Let's see if this one's a little tougher. While it's an imaginary place, it's not formally recognized as a name. Plenty of superstition surrounds it. It also has another name. Does anybody know what it is called? That is correct. The Devil's Triangle. Okay. You guys are doing very, very well. A highly publicized incident, which kind of goes hand in hand with the Bermuda Triangle, is the disappearance of 5 Navy Avengers. Does anybody know what year? How many people think it was 1939? Some. 1945? A few more. 1951. Anybody? Oh, a couple. All right. Well, actually, the year was December 3rd, 1945. And we will be talking a little bit more about the Avengers a little later in this presentation. This is one of 2 places where the compass actually points north and not to magnetic north. There is another place where this happens. Does anybody know what that is, where that place is? Nope. Not in Europe. Yes, exactly. It's in Japan. And notice the name. It's called the Devil's Sea, and it's off the coast of Japan. It's also called the Dragon's Triangle. Now, how many aircraft do you think have been lost in the Bermuda Triangle? Well, that's a hard one, so I'm going to give you the answer. 96 have been reported missing in the last 50 or so years. Which famous writer produced a work possibly inspired by a shipwreck in the Bermuda Triangle? How many people think it might have been Jules Verne? Stephen Crane? Some? H.G. Wells? A few. Anybody for William Shakespeare? No? Oh. Well, believe it or not, some scholars say that Shakespeare's 1611 play, The Tempest, is actually based in part on the accounts of a voyage of a ship that sank off the Bermuda coast in 1609. Okay, now on to our theoretical physicist and Englishman, Stephen Hawking, who once suggested, which explanation for Bermuda Triangle disappearances? Was it? And think very carefully. The triangle may contain a wormhole that allows passage between 2 different spots in a time-space continuum. The triangle contains a smaller region in which time runs in reverse, so that a person who ventures into that zone becomes younger and younger and eventually ceases to exist. The Benjamin Button effect, if you've seen the movie with Brad Pitt. Or, contrary to accepted scientific thought, the Earth is actually a flat plane supported on the backs of gigantic turtles, and people who disappear in the triangle actually have fallen off the Earth's edge. Or possibly, the triangle contains a particle of antimatter, which converts to energy any object that collides with it. All right, this is a hard one, so I'm going to give you a couple of things. First of all, it is not the Benjamin Button effect. It is also not the triangular part. So it's between A and C. How many people think it's A? Very good. How many people actually think it might be C? No? Nobody? Well, actually, C is the correct answer. He actually did say that, but need I say, he was obviously very facetious when he did. Okay, so let's move on and find out what people think about the Bermuda Triangle in the past. It's very mysterious. We cannot prove or disprove, as you will find out. Just when you think you know the answer, something comes along to lay a little quandary into that. But anything is possible. Perhaps UFOs are the cause. If you can't explain it, we always talk about the aliens. The aliens always come up, abduct things, take people. Hey, everybody's heard about aliens. Maybe that's what caused the UFOs in the Bermuda Triangle. Sea monsters. Big monsters that come out and swallow ships. In fact, there is a thought of a ship, a USS Cyclops, which sank in 1819. Some person actually suggested a big octopus came in and dragged this huge tanker right down to the bottom of the sea. This is my favorite one. It's called magnethorax. It's 5 kilometers long, as you can see here. Here's the Eiffel Tower in comparison. Here is its eye, and here is a human in comparison. This big monster eating ships and planes as they come into the Bermuda Triangle. It could be. Could it not? Well, enough of the fun stuff. Let us become a little more serious. The Bermuda Triangle roughly comes from Puerto Rico and San Juan to Miami to Bermuda. This area here is the 500,000 square miles of the Bermuda Triangle. Now, the actual coordinates of the Bermuda Triangle vary depending on what people tell you. It's been shown that a number of things which have been attributed to the Bermuda Triangle actually haven't disappeared in the Bermuda Triangle at all, but disappeared in other areas. The first person, Jones, who in 1950 in the Miami Herald basically talked about disappearances. He talked about the Avengers, talked about the freighter Savannah, a couple of British planes that disappeared, a DC-3 that disappeared, and this was actually the first talk in his Sea Puzzles, Still Baffle Men, and Push Button, 1950. Well, a couple of years later, a fellow called George X. Sand article, Sea Mysteries, which appeared in Fate magazine, went on to actually give the location of the triangle. So this was the first person to actually draw out the location of the triangle. But it wasn't until 1962 that Vincent Gaddis coined the term Bermuda Triangle. This appeared in the Argosy magazine, which of course its title is A Work of Great Fiction. However, people still believe in the triangle. Now, to explain some of what happens in the triangle, there is a fellow, Harry Kush, who was a librarian at Arizona State University and also a pilot, who went out and did a lot of research to try and explain some of the unknown. He has published 2 books here, The Bermuda Triangle Mystery Solved and Disappearance of the Flight 19. So why the controversy? Well, people like to believe in supernatural. Being abducted by UFOs, huge monsters, are just a little bit better than a guy made a mistake, or ran out of fuel, or maybe it was a storm. So let us go a little further and go and look at this guy. This is Christopher Columbus, actually the first person to have thought of something going wrong in the Bermuda Triangle. He saw lights jumping around, and many scholars have thought possibly these were lights from campfires, but as they try and place his position in October 1492, they find a little bit of a problem in that times and time again he was too far away to see these lights, so were they fishing boats? No one's quite sure. Or were they mysterious UFOs? No one knows.